Hey there, guys. It's me again. Today we're going to be talking about the phrase "the sun never sets" on the British Empire, which I'm sure you've heard this term before. It's a pretty common term, and it's actually not just metaphorical. It's not like, oh, this empire will never end. No, the British Empire used to be so big that this was actually accurate. Like, at all times, at least one part of the British Empire was in sunlight. The sun just never fully set on the British Empire, which is crazy. While we are talking about this, I'm also going to continue to explore this jungle. I want to get out of it. Honestly, jungles are really cool, but I want to find a village. My goal is to find a village. That's the number one goal right now. Okay. So I don't really know how to get out of this jungle. I guess I could climb a tree, but I think I'm just gonna walk for a little bit. See what I find along the way, who knows. Oh, I might find what are those things called? Jungle fortress? Something? Anyway, so the sun rises at different times all across the world, so you can have an empire that is just so big that that the sun never sets on it. This statement began to be true in the probably late 1700s, because that's when they got Australia. They lost Australia. I can't quite remember when. I think early 1900s that it stopped being part of their empire, but it continued to be true after that because they got Canada. So, yeah, the British Empire was so big. At one point, it controlled roughly 25% of all land on Earth, which is absolutely insane. And I know that you're probably thinking, oh, I bet that was super long ago, like 1600s. No, actually, this was in 1920 because they got the territories that Germany had to cede after World War I. Germany had a few territories in Africa, and Britain took all of them, so the British Empire was just bigger than it had ever been. That was their peak. So yeah, it's crazy. It had Canada the until the 1980s, so obviously that impacted it as well. Canada's a really big place, so that probably really impacted the numbers. It just has so much land mass. Okay, so the peak of the British Empire was in this mountain. I'm not good at climbing mountains, apparently. I thought it was. No, I'm just gonna climb up. I have some granite right here. So after the 1920s, there was a lot of pressure. Everyone told Britain, give these people their independence and all that, because independence was a really important thing after the 1920s. I can't see a single way out of this jungle biome. This is absurd. I want to get out of it. Yeah, there was a lot of pressure for Britain to give up its territories, so eventually it did, and some of them rebelled, and some of them Britain just gave up. And they gave a ton of countries their independence, and they got a lot smaller. It's really just them now, and they have 13 little territories that they have. Some of them only have a dozen people in them, and you know what is absolutely insane is those 13 tiny little territories, some with almost no people. One of them is the Antarctic one. That has almost no one. There's also an island that has 24 people in it. But those tiny little nations are still part of the British Empire, and the sun has still not set on the British Empire. Oof. That was glitchy, but it was a good fall. Yeah. Sun still hasn't set. The British Empire is still going strong, man. It's absurd. Very, very impressive. And I don't think that the British Empire I don't think the sun will set on it anytime soon. It's not like those 12 people are going to fight for their independence. You usually need a bit more people than that. Yeah. This ended up being a really short video, but I got through all I wanted to talk about. I really just wanted to talk about the idea of the sun never sets on the British Empire. I'm going to kill this chicken right here. It doesn't glitch out too much. Yeah, British Empire is very impressive. I am constantly shocked at them. They conquered so much territory, they controlled so much, and so many of their colonies were turned into extremely successful nations, like the US, obviously, and India. They were in control of India for so long. Um, they did some atrocities in India. I'll talk about that later. Have I finally reached the end? Have I finally reached the end? Yes! I reached. Oh, that's coral right there. That's beautiful. Okay, I reached the end of the jungle. Next video, I guess I'm gonna boat across it. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.